All right, so we're starting on this C, this A major shaped C major, in that A box right here, 5 root 3, and I'm just saying that, and we take it down to this 3/6 root, which is a second inversion. Anything in A or A minor is second inversion when you're playing those action fingers. Okay, up here second inversion, down here second inversion minor. When we get down here, now we're back in the C box. So up here we were in the A box. Let's play that pattern now. Okay, so now we're going to do the diatonic pattern, which is okay if this is the key of the song, right? So we go. Okay, that kind of thing. So one cage takes us to the next, then we're going to use the C shape for pentatonic, or in that case the diatonic, because it was in the key of C. But we want to move along. Now we're going to look at the short pattern for the G, let's say, and going into even the E pattern. So the G starts on the 6, which is the A, to the root, and we're going to play this big old S5G. Let's shimmy over to that pattern real quick. Here's the S5G. 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's our G pattern. What are we going to play for that E? If we want to take it into the E cage, which is the next one up, we're going to need an S1E on the bottom. This is how I've been playing this. I've worked these out, so I think they're the best things to do. So you start with this E pattern down here, little S1E, 7 root 2. Okay, this is octave for me. Okay, so it's 7 root 2. And then we're going to go into an S2C, S3D. So how many strings we got there? Here's the S1. The S1E is 1 string. The let's see, and that'll be 7 root 2. So we're going to go to the S2C. That's 2 strings, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's just. Sorry, it's not that. That sounded good, but that was only because, like, music tries to sound good all the time. So why should it be the same? You know. Their alias there. We'll look at that. Look at that. Let's just beam over to back to the fretboard. Okay. So what we're looking at here is now the G and the E. All right. And the G is easy. We just start on a big old S5G and then do an S1G on the top, which is the 6, 7 root here. Notice this fretboard is kind of not lined up good. Sorry about that. I'll trim that up. But these are the same string. You'll just have to bear with me when I'm putting these shapes together. And then we have it goes to the E here, so it's S1E. So let's play this. Let's play this easy S5G. So we're going to start on the 6th, which is the A, and with my guitar. Here's the S1G on top. Okay. Okay, now the E goes way up there. We played that already. Now there's two ways to play the E. You can do it that way, or you can just do an S4 E. With the E is S4 E is just 7 root 2 3 4 5, 6 7 root 2 3 4. But then there's these kind of like shape bits up here, and an incomplete shape. This is why I've arranged these things so we'll have complete shapes, at least on the short patterns. So there it is. So we don't want to worry about how to play it in a way that, but if you're just playing the first 4 strings of it, yeah, it's an S4L. And it's also good for a Locrian. Okay, so that's nice. You can do Locrian on that S4. Now, moving along, it wouldn't be fair unless we can go the D to the C again. I have that. Or we could do the E to the... I can't do the E to the C easily because I have basically what's called, I guess in string instruments, a half position. There's always a half position on the open string kind of thing. With violin, there's a half position. I've named this half of an E position here because we don't have the bottom part. But who's going to save the day there? The long ranger, the long pattern. Okay, so let's just skip the C to the A1, rather the E to the D1, because I'd have to be way up here, the E to the D. Okay, that's the E to the D, and I'm getting a little turn of the wrist, overusage injury, they call it. I don't want to get an overusage, so I don't use too much of this. I just, so I'm going to do it octave. We're going to skip the E to the D one, but I am going to discuss the long pattern on that half position that fixes all that. Okay, and that would be... Alright, so we're going to do the D position back to the C position. So it'd be S3D, real easy. S3, this is my favorite one of all of them. Because this was the S, this is the S, what do you used to call it? The S3L. Okay, that 7L shape, here's your 7 part. And the L part is... Okay, but that doesn't really play. That's just recognizing the shape. And then we have the S2C. Here's your C shape. E, F, G. And then C, the fifth of C is G. So that's 6, 7 root. Why? Because when you play an open G, the real deal G, right, from your C, E becomes the 6th, so the E string shape is 6, 7 root. Alright, and then the S1 and D on top. So we've got the D shape, warp it up. So remember this right here, if we do it down here below the warp, becomes something like, see how they're on top of one another here? But do it from up here and you have to change because of the tuning third. Alright? It even sounds a little different, but it shouldn't, because